welcome to another episode of
Where I can tap my knee.
You like my sexy voice?
Ew, I did not like that.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jonathan. And we are a Boys Love podcast that talks about our favorite shows and all the press and mess around them.
Yes, and Jonathan, it is already August, and that means summer's ending soon.
Thank God I hate
summer. Yeah, it's always so damn hot, but it's cooling off finally. And we are inching closer to your little trip.
I know, but it might get moved though. I'm thinking of moving it so I'm not sweating here and over there.
Oh,
so
okay.
See.
We'll talk about that later when we get closer to it. Anywho, I also have a question for you. So you don't watch basketball, do you?
No, I'm not a big basketball boy. I used to be a little bit. I used to watch like the summer like NBA finals, but
yeah, I also don't watch it too much either. I did go to a game. I went to see the Brooklyn Nets with
recently?
This was pre-pandemic, so that was the last time I went to any basketball game. And but I guess my question to you is, would you watch a basketball game if there was a ship playing on the same team? And do you think that would work in the United States?
Oh, well, that would get a lot more Fujoshis into basketball. So maybe the gays will suddenly start tuning in.
Right. I mean, listen, if the NBA or the WNBA, either one is trying to make more money.
Give us some ship work. Give us some skin ship.
Yeah, we want to, some ship work, okay? Like, let's have a little peck on the cheek on the court, like pass the ball and pass other things.
America's so homophobic, especially in basketball. I don't think that would ever happen. Are there any openly like professional?
Yes, there are a few. There are a few. Like within the past 10 years, maybe two. But I think both of them are free agents now.
Yeah,
they're currently. Yeah, so as in they were on teams. It might, or maybe it's one. I have to go back and look, but there's at most two, and they were open, and I believe both of them were on actual teams, and then when their contracts ended, they're now free agents
because they're not renewed. Homophobia.
Yeah. So it's like, that's better than before, I guess.
I guess. But
Anywho, let's get to word on the tweet.
That segue. All right, word on the tweet. We gotta start with some sad news. Not really sad. Okay. It's just a reminder to all those crazy fans. Like, I mean, I also really love Om Nanon. I was a crazy fan during Bad Buddy era. Like, I have the merch. I have everything.
Yeah, you were in deep. You were in
I
deep.
I was deep.
Deep.
But I mean, I knew that obviously they're not together in real life. Like, come on, they're just two boys. And Anon has come out as straight. Like, he's like, I am a straight man.
Yes.
So I don't know. GMMTV had to be like, hey guys, reminder. These guys are not a ship anymore. We did like a slow, soft, exit as a ship a year ago when we stopped, creating merch for them. They did like the last, what's it called, Laugh Out Loud concert. They did it like 2023 was like their last like couple thing together. This past year, they weren't in it together. Because they really are not a ship anymore, so...
And then they did the little thing with Our Sky, like at the beginning of 2023. Remember?
Yeah.
That it was like a continuation of Bad Buddy / Tale of a Thousand Stars.
Yeah, but like that was like the end of just the Bad Buddy story. But like they are done as a ship together. They are just workers, y'all. Let these boys be free
Right. Let them
agents
do
to
their
just
job.
do their own
If
thing.
it's no longer if their job has changed, the job has changed, and that's it. Just keep
That's
it moving,
it.
keep it pushing.
And
Oma's in a new
also,
ship, which they announced like a
yeah,
while ago.
Lang, like let's
Like,
support that new show that comes out.
yes, and Nanon is doing whatever he does.
He's
Like,
doing his music stuff and
you're
his I
right.
don't know.
Let them live their life, okay? I know probably why some people are still kind of up in arms is
Because they think it
because
was GMMTV that broke them up and not these boys themselves. Like these boys
yeah,
themselves probably they have some beef. There's something that happened. They've been
that's what I
fighting
was
their
gonna
whole
say.
friendship.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to know what happened because I love tea, so I want
Mm-hmm.
to know. But clearly, they ended, their little ship because they had their own personal things that they wanted to accomplish. And that's it.
And
Like
that's it.
things like
And
that
Nanon also
happen.
like never wanted to be in the ship. He only did this because he liked the director, and he liked the script. And it
Right.
was supposed to just be a one-off BL for him.
Right. And I think he and were or are genuinely friends, right? I don't know what their status of their friendship
Yeah,
is
I don't know what their
today.
status is now because
Yeah.
they like don't pay each other. They don't give
They
each
don't
other the
pay each
time
other
of day.
dust. They
Like it's
really don't.
crazy. Every
Yeah, and
interview you see them,
why?
they look like they fucking hate each other. Or at least
Well,
Nanon. Nanon will give like the meanest side eye. It's
yeah, and I want to
crazy.
know what happened where you getting side eyes
Something
and all of that.
happened.
Something happened. But you know what? One thing I do appreciate about them, unlike another, sailed ship, Mike Top Tap,
Oh my
is
god.
oh
It's gonna be
my
2030 and we're still gonna be talking about Mike Top Tap.
yes, yes, because we still don't know what happened with that one. But with at least with Nanon, like in their show, their last thing, they've been professional. Like you could tell the chemistry is still there. They
Like
still
on
were giving
screen, it
people
was
what
still there.
on
On
screen,
screen,
right? They were
that shit
giving
was
people
perfect.
what they wanted on screen, and that's all we ask. Like, unlike with Mike's Top Tap, you could even see the tension with them like on screen on a scripted show, and it's like
I mean,
whatever
they were
beef y'all
made to be
have.
enemies on those shows. I don't know. It was a setup for them.
It was a
It was a setup.
scheme.
It was a scheme.
Scheme. What else is happening?
Um, so have you seen that new trend? It's like new old, but there was this like Chinese model that did like this like sunburn trend for
Mm,
some magazine shoot, and it just like suddenly like resurfaced, and everyone's like recreating it now. So you see like
everybody.
yeah, everyone
I don't know
like
why everybody wants to be sunburned, but okay.
I don't know. It was a cool shoot, and it was kind of like he was wearing like a crop top, like tank top. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like you
So
see
it's
like
sunburned
around
with
his
the tan
boobs.
line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you see like the tan line. So like already like Net from like Dumandi did it.
Mm-hmm.
Pete from Mandy, from Fort Pete right
Mm-hmm.
now. Love see Boy from if you remember that Ghost House show.
Oh. I almost
Yeah.
forgot about that show.
I like him, and he's coming out with a new show too soon. Another
Okay.
BL, and then
Well, I mean,
Max.
I
I just
forgot
saw
about the
today Max.
show. I meant I forgot about the show because the show was
That was a good show. I mean, bad
okay.
ending, but that was a good middle.
Yes, I think I remember the ending more than anything else, which was not good. And then
But
who else did it?
Matt's Nat, another
Oh
Dumandi boy.
yes,
Yeah,
I
he
saw
just did
that
it today. I
picture.
saw it.
Mm-hmm.
He looked
That's really
good.
nice. He looked. They. You know what? I saw the one with Nat and the one with Pete. And the one with Max. I did not see the one with Boy, but they all looked good. I mean, I personally don't understand the trend. Well, I get it, but I don't get it.
I just think I don't know.
But
People
they
are kind
look
of butchering
great.
it now, but
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I love images.
Yeah, I mean they look great, but
Who do you
I'm
think's Nets? You think
oh, you know who else
Pond
did
is gonna
it?
do it Nets?
Maybe Top Tap did it too, by the
Oh, you're
way.
right. Top Tech
Mm-hmm.
did. He
Yes,
made a
Top
real
Tap did it too.
cringe. Top Tech's real
Yeah.
cringe on Instagram.
Yeah, he is. Somebody did comment on Pete doing it because Pete did it to
What song?
to the Megan the Stallion song.
Hey, yeah, he
And
did.
but he was lip syncing, but it was 100% off. And it was kind of like if you're gonna lip sync at least
Come
be
on,
on
lip
it.
sync for your life.
Yeah, like, come on. Okay. Anywho, what else do we
Anywho,
got on the streets or on the tweet? That might be
on
the
the
streets.
streets. Yeah, and so final thing, new show coming out called Monster Next Door. It's been in the
Okay.
works for a while.
Uh-huh.
It's coming out Thursday, August 8th on WeTV, starring
Mm.
Big and Park. And Big, we know Big. He's been in so many BLs before as like the like love rival that never gets the guy.
Yes.
So like he
Yes.
was
I had
in
to
Big
think about who he
Dragon.
was, and I was like, wait, now I remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's been in so much. So
So much.
it's good that he's finally getting to be a main character in the show.
Right. I don't know who Park is though. Now, what was he
I
in?
think Park
Or is
might
he new?
be a new boy.
Okay.
Let me see. Probably a new boy though.
And I think Monster Next Door is also going to be on Gagaoolala as well.
I hope so.
I think so. At least I thought I saw that somewhere. I could be imagining things, but I think it's there too.
Oh yeah, because
So,
Big was just in. Oh my God, you still haven't seen OMG Vampire. He was also love rival in OMG Vampire,
yeah. So good thing that he's going to be in a main ship and not a rival.
and not a rival. He was in Something in My Room. He was in Step by
Mm-hmm.
Step, Big Dragon. He was
Mm-hmm.
in Gen Y.
Yep.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. Oh, he used to be under Star Hunter. Interesting.
Hmm.
And now I guess not anymore. I mean, get your big break, buddy. Get your big break.
Yeah, or maybe maybe he's decided
He's
to
a free
go
agent now.
yeah, he's freelance, I guess, which probably is good because I think that's what actually Mike just signed with someone, but Mike was freelance for a while, so
Yeah. Oh, and Park,
yeah.
I see he was main character in Two Moons the Ambassador. Oh,
Oh, okay,
that
which
Two
I didn't
Moons
see.
franchise, it had like 4 reboots. So that was like I think the last reboot that
Okay.
they did.
Yeah, I didn't see any of Two Moons. I didn't
You
see
should see
even
Two Moons. You see the one with
I-
Jung at least.
Okay, maybe I might see that when we're done with this roster of shows that we are drowning
Yeah, you
in.
can throw back to OG shows.
Yeah, like
Two
when
Moons
we
is
cuz
everything.
we're eventually going to get into a drought. So that's when you binge.
That
Right
is when you
now
binge.
right now it's not a drought. Right now it's a flood.
Oh, torrential
Right now it's a
downpour,
flood.
y'all.
Okay. um Anywho, we don't have any new shows really this week, but we do have our shows of the week. So let's get into it. So Jonathan, what is your show this week?
My show is surprisingly. I love how I be talking shit about something and then like 2 weeks later you see me rave about it. So Meet You at the Blossom. I was a hater. I was a hater.
You were
Like
a
first
big
episode, I was like,
hater.
ooh, I couldn't get through the title sequence, and now I'm like eating it up. I binged like 8 episodes Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm loving the
didn't
show.
I tell you? So, y'all, I told Jonathan that actually it's not bad, and it took a while. I will
It
say
takes
those
a while.
first
The first episode is so unserious.
episodes. Right, and I would say maybe the first 3 episodes are unserious.
You have
Like
to
it's
get
kind of
through
like
the whole
what is
like.
going on.
Obviously, he's not a woman.
Right,
thing.
because because home dude is dumb.
He
like
didn't
he's
even like
very
pretend
dense.
to be a woman. He just like assumed.
Right,
He was
he
like,
just
he's so
assumed-
pretty. He must be a woman. And everyone's like, okay.
Okay, and then I was like, is everyone in this town like really dense? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. I think Homeboy's just so pretty. Because,
Yeah.
in, spoiler, he's like the son of like, supposedly like the prettiest woman or whatever, right?
Right, and he inherited those genes, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But but I mean,
don't-
I love how I think it was either episode 5, maybe episode 4. Where
Yeah, something
it really
clicked,
started
episode
getting,
4 or 5, yup.
Yeah, it started getting really interesting. But
Yeah, the love story
was,
started to build around there.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if I told you, but I think it was episode 6 and the beginning of episode 7 was where I started to tear up a little bit because I felt really bad for
Ryan.
what's his name? Xiaobao?
Yeah, Xiaobao. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of felt sorry for him because he felt as if he was being fooled, and he kind of was. right?
I
Kind of,
mean,
but
he's
not
kind of
really.
he's
But
a
he's
little
also
dense. He's a little
he's
dummy.
very dense. So he kind of was like, well, you kind of made up a narrative on your own
Yeah,
with
you kind
no
of
assistance from
assumed
anyone else.
a lot, and you're not asking questions either.
Right. You're just like, I'm
Um,
just going to go with it and throw money at stuff. And that's the way it's going to
yup, throw
go.
money at stuff. Just throw your
Right.
heart everywhere. Just be like, oh my
Right.
god, you're amazing. We're gonna get married. I love you.
Right. And I mean, low key, I think, what's his name? Yeah, is it Howlin?
Hawaiian, isn't it Hawaiian?
Howen? I don't know. Somebody from China help us.
Oh my
But I
god.
feel as if like he I think they sincerely really do love each other. Clear I think it's very clear,
Oh,
especially
very
when you get
clear.
to
It's very
episode 8.
clear.
But I
I mean, after
think
some
it
like
was
really like not problematic, but I don't know. The like some scenes are problematic in the show, maybe.
yes, I would have to agree. There were certain things I'm like,
But like I can see this.
huh.
I can see if this was a novel, I could see it like in the novel. But when you translate it to screen, you're like, oh, that's kind of problematic. But
Well, again, the director is the same one who gave us History 4.
oh, so he don't know consent.
Right. So that's why it's like they were. I mean, even though I
Literally,
feel as
he
if this
don't know
show is
consent. He don't know
way
consent.
better than History 4 by
Oh my
leaps and
god.
bounds. But when you think of who the director is, who by the way is a straight woman,
Ooh,
when you think
come on,
about who the
straighty.
director, right? When you think about who the director is, think about the source content, the source material, right? Then it's like, okay, some of these decisions
She
make
loves
sense.
non-consensual relationships, but
Or relationships that become consensual after something non-consensual.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Anyway,
so
anyway.
it's a good show. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to see more of it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm actually this is a show that I became excited for the next episode. I'll say that.
I mean, part of me is like,
Like,
oh, maybe I should have just waited till it's fully out so I can just binge the whole thing.
mhm.
Because I was like waiting for the next episode.
Yeah. So now I'm like I'm eager. I do feel as if it is I wouldn't say it's the best show that I've watched so far, but I
No,
will
it's not
say we don't
groundbreaking
yeah, it's
in
not
my opinion.
groundbreaking, but it's groundbreaking in the sense of we don't have a lot of BLs from China, and this one kind of is a BL from China,
Yeah,
but with the Taiwanese
we're getting
director.
skinship in a
Yeah,
story. It's not bromance. It's not implied bromance.
right. It's
But at the same time, like I don't even need it. Like I didn't even. It didn't really surprise me. You know, any of the like kisses or like
mhm.
I don't know.
But it's like I feel as if it's a show where even though it's from China, but it's kind of not because it's being produced by a Thai company.
A Taiwanese and a Thai company.
Yeah, and
It's
the
like a
director is
mix.
Taiwanese, but all the actors, with the exception of one, are Chinese. And then
Yeah.
what the one actor
The
that's
one
not is
Thai actor
Thai.
that's speaking Thai in the show. Like I'm reading his lips and I'm like, he's just
I
like
noticed
speaking
that
Thai.
too, and I was like, "Are we doing this again?"
I was
Where
like, you couldn't.
you could have just gotten someone who speaks Mandarin; it would have been totally
There
fine.
has to
Instead
be
of
an
have,
actor that's.
there's
Yeah, I
so
was like, why
many.
this specific man? Is he like, was it part of the deal to have like a Thai actor somewhere?
Maybe because it's a Thai production. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they got funding from some kind of government entity. I don't know. I don't know.
So
But I
clearly
do.
Thai.
Yeah, and it's like it's fine if the person is Thai, but because there are also Thai people who speak Mandarin, maybe
Yeah,
not
but this
well,
man
but
does
they
not, because
do.
he's over here
This
like, P, help me.
right.
And I'm like reading his lips. I'm like, yeah, it's he's speaking Thai.
Yeah, I noticed that and it's like,
The dub not
And,
dumbing.
but speaking of shows that are groundbreaking,
Oh yeah, what is your
my
show of the week?
show this week is 4 minutes. It was yours last week. It's mine this
Interesting.
week.
Interesting.
But
Did we switch? Wait, no. Last week your show of the week was like Bad Boy, right? Bad Guys.
my no last week my show was I Hear the Sunspots.
I hear the sunspot.
Yes. So this week it's 4 minutes. We did get more sweet cheek booty meat.
Ah, No spoilers. I'm so
And
mad.
that's
I
all I'm
wanted to
gonna
see
say.
this.
I forgot Jonathan has not caught up yet. Now,
I haven't caught up yet. I'm
y'all,
so sorry.
y'all, it's not his fault. Like I said, we have 15 shows on our roster.
So many
Okay.
shows.
So many shows. Luckily, a good chunk of them are ending next week. So we're going to finally get a little bit of relief. But all I'll say is, Jonathan, we
Yes.
already thought the show was good with the first episode.
It's even better now.
It's even better. Because
I mean,
there's.
I already see. I'm
I'm not
already
going to
seeing like
say
little
it.
sneak peeks of like
I'm not going to say what happens, but.
people are thrusting, people are riding.
Well, that's not even the biggest part to me. Like, that's
Oh,
just
really?
No, that is not the biggest part at all. Like, there is a big, big thing that happens that really has, let's just say, I think it's going to be pivotal to the whole plot.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on. And, ooh, I love a good messy storyline where there's mess, but when it's done beautifully, like, this is giving the kind of ups and downs that you would see in My Stand-In, but
Oh,
even better.
It's the new My Stand-In replacement. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
but
just telling
I would
us to
say,
make a bonus series for it.
but I would say we're using restraint, okay?
Restraint. I'm exhausted.
Because we need a break. But I will say, like, it's really good, like, really good. Okay, so whoever's not watching 4 minutes, get your life. Like,
Get into
seriously.
it.
Like, this is...
Find a way to watch it.
If you liked My Stand-In,
If
you
liked
liked
Ken
Ken
Porsche,
Porsche, if you liked...
if you liked Manner of Death, Triage.
if you liked any of those, you would like 4 minutes. Like, in fact,
Yes.
not only would you like it, you would love it. And in fact, you might even be obsessed. We might be obsessed too, but we've already done too many bonus series and we need a break. We're just gonna stick to the regular.
Too many dating
regular.
shows and too many bonus series.
Right. So, and speaking of dating shows, let's get to shows that just ended.
Woo!
So, we are still on a high from the epoch that is The Boyfriend. And we are rebounding. We are rebounding to His Man, which just ended.
Not
to His
rebounding.
Man 3.
I see
you. Love
you.
how I did that? You
see the wordplay. I see you.
So, y'all, there will be some spoilers. We're going to kind of go over the highlights of the last few episodes of His Man 3, but we're going to try not to spend a lot of time, but enough time, if that makes sense. So,
yeah, we got to give some more flowers to His Man, because The Boyfriend stole the spotlight.
It really did, because The Boyfriend was giving, but not saying His Man 3 did not give us something, okay? So we're just going to stick to some highlights.
All right.
That we kind of looked at. The first one, right, that we looked at. The first one is, we got to get into Hui's long letter to Sungmin, which was like episode 11, 12.
Oh my god. He's like, Hyung. Here is like a whole 5-paragraph essay about why I like you
and how he fit that on one card is wild.
I know.
And got Sungmin crying, and I mean, Hui was doing it. He really was.
So yeah, the 2 episodes before the finale.
Yes.
So, like, it was mostly like, what was it? It was like the last date, right? And it was just like kind of like 2 big group dates.
Mm-hmm. And the one was with Sungmin, Sungjin, and Hui. And the other one was with everybody else.
The 2 couples and Jason, like, being like a 5th wheel.
Right.
And they did like a cool water sports day.
Right. And then it started raining. Jason got sick from that and ended up going back home early as the rest of them kind of finished up. But then we know Hui, Sungmin, and Sungjin had
bowling.
Yeah, they went bowling and then had a pretty comfortable conversation, like, over lunch,
It was awkward. It's so awkward.
It was kind of awkward, but you could tell, like, they were comfortable, and it was awkward because by this point we had, I guess, resolved in himself. We thought that
We thought.
Sungmin was not going to be. Sungmin has chosen who he wanted to be with.
I mean, were you
So
get at that point in the show when I think like the night before Sungmin told Hui, he was like, "Hey, I have moved on from you. Like my number one now is Jason. Like I'm sorry. Like I think you should talk to other people in the house." Even though it was like day like sits right there.
um, I wasn't. You know what?
Was
I wasn't. I think I'm going to say this. Already, I think Sung Min was having some reservations about Hui, despite the fact that they had a pretty strong connection. And I think the reservations had to do with Hui is one of those people that loves hard and loves strong, right? And for some people, that
and he's
is
young.
overwhelming. Yeah,
This
and
might be
he's
like his
really young.
first real
His first real crush, you
like
know.
gay crush and
Right.
gay kind of
And I think
relationship
for
or
Sungmin,
something.
that was a lot to kind of carry after a while. And also, I think Sungmin already had reservations about the age gap. Unlike with Jae Sung is a little older than Sungmin, but we're talking about not a lot older.
I think Sungmin just he wanted to be taken care of. He wants to be baby
I
boy,
think so. And I think
and he
Sungmin
doesn't want
felt
to have
like
to
he was
take
going to.
care of Hui.
Right. And I think that's
Yeah.
kind of where he was coming from, you know.
Yeah.
But I think I was more surprised with who had a crush on Hui, which was Sungjin.
I
And
know.
I was like, this is really cute. And, I really feel as if, Sungjin is underrated in the show. I'll say that. Because
Oh.
he was he and Hui built a really strong friendship, right? Like a really
Mm-hmm.
good bond because they're close in age. They also have a lot more in common than I think anyone else there. And Sungjin
Is
is
they felt
someone who
comfortable together. Like Sungjin
right,
was the one that Hui can like run back into the house to and kind of uh, just like talk everything over with. Like it was very
right,
comforting. But
right.
like I feel like Hui, you taking advantage of this boy.
I think
Like
because
you
Hui
taking this
was
boy for granted.
so
Yeah.
blinded with love for Sungmin, he couldn't value the relationship he had with Sungjin in the way that he could have. Like, and I think that goes back to something Sungmin had said was look at other people in the house. Because Sungmin came in with the idea, I'm gonna try to get to know everybody and then make a
Mm-hmm.
decision based on that. Hui
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm on Sungmin. I'm only on Sungmin. Everyone else in the house, they matter, but not to me in this regard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with that said, we know that whole thing caused friction between him and Jae-sung. And Jae-sung and Hui, they are the furthest apart in age. And both of them were kind of interested in each other as like a second choice.
But once all
But
the ages came out and all the honorifics came back in and everyone felt so awkward.
right. And I think with these two, with Jae-sung and Hui, um, they had to have a really honest conversation. And I'm really glad they did
I mean,
because
they got to talk through like the whole love triangle thing, and like Jason like
yes,
felt so angry towards Hui because he thought, that he was kind of like keeping him from Sungmin,
right.
and that it was like a whole plot to like kind of keep them apart. But it was
When
just no, it
really
was just the
that
show. It was the
it was
show
just a
and
show.
like
And
bad
also there
luck
was a
and
misunderstanding because
yeah, and the
remember
misunderstanding with
that
the question.
misunderstanding stemmed from that anonymous card, which actually Sungjin wrote
Yeah,
and
Sungjin wrote, not even Hui.
not even
Yeah,
Hui. And I think that kind of created this tension between Jae-sung and Hui. And I'm glad they were able to talk that out. But
and
then
cry it out.
yeah, oh, and the crying really happened, when they left from the bedroom and started, we really broke down. And then Jae-sung broke down because I feel as if they both really care about each other. And then they
Hmm.
just felt really bad for how toxic they had gotten with each other. when they really didn't need to, Um, and Hui broke down in the kitchen, I believe,
He
and
did.
was like, he's like, I just felt like you really kind of tossed me aside, and I was really, and I think the two of them and I'm hoping they still do, like a very brotherly kind of, you know, friendship, and I think, for queer people, especially in Korea, having someone who can be kind of like an older brother that's also queer, who's like, I've been
Mm-hmm.
through all of this, I think it's incredibly important,
Yeah, that would be
and
so nice to have. Yeah.
right. And I think the two of them have that kind of understanding. At least that's what I kind of gathered by the end of the show. Especially when you get that vulnerable with someone, you definitely are able to form a very deep relationship with them. And they were
Oh,
very
this show, it's
vulnerable,
so crazy
very
how this show is
honest.
7 days compared to the boyfriend's 30 days. And like in
Right.
both shows, everyone's still so openly emotional.
Yeah.
Like everyone's
Yeah, and I'm so glad they
so
were.
still like the tears are flying, the hugs
Right.
are flying. Like,
Right. And I'm just glad that Jason and we were able to get through it despite, I'm pretty sure, hours of breakdowns and tears and all of that. But you know what? They put in the work. And I
they
really
did.
appreciate that. I will say, I don't know if you caught this, but when they were at the pool, did you see how Sungjin, like, he kind of saw a little bit and swooped away because he saw they were both kind of like deep in conversation and crying?
I
Because
mean, yeah, he was
Jae-sung
like,
at the
"Oh, now's not the
time,
moment."
yeah, Jae-sung was ugly crying at that moment. Okay, like he was deep in tears. So, but I really loved that moment. Um, Another thing, switching gears a little bit, but not too much. Let's go into the last day when they've already packed up their stuff, headed out. Myung Kyung's apology to Youngjun before they left the house.
I mean, yeah, he
I
he was like, "Let me give one more apology." He was like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, and he gave him a hug and everything. And Youngjun actually, I think, was crying, like not in that moment, but in his confessional, which we did not see, but
Yeah,
you
he
could
was
hear
like, "I'm
him.
trying not to cry."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think, you know what, they needed that. They
they
needed
needed
that closure.
closure. Close that
Right.
story.
I don't think they're ever going to be friends, which is fine. But
Oh,
I think,
oh, he was for sure like, yeah. Myungkyun was like, "Oh yeah, goodbye, see you soon," and I think Yeonjun was like, "Have a good life."
yeah, yeah. I don't,
Like,
I
I don't know
don't
if we're gonna
think
see each other
they,
again, but like, have a good life.
I think they needed the closure, but I don't think they needed more than that.
I don't think they need to be besties. I don't think
Yeah,
you have
and
to
I
be
and I think
besties.
there's a clear understanding between the two of them. They just, move on with your life. I'll move on with mine. If I see you, I see you. If I don't, I don't, and we're good. I think they know how to be
Mm-hmm.
cordial if that were to happen.
Not cordial.
Um, I also thought it was interesting how we told Sung Jin that he wants to go on a date with him again.
Oh yeah, so
Um,
they flash back to like the night before. They all have
yeah,
to make a final call, and all the couples like call each other. But then we see, well, actually, do we even see all the other couples? They only show two calls actually. Just realized that
mm-hmm,
they only show Sungjin calling Hui and Hui calling Sungjin back,
mm-hmm.
or the other way around. But
Yeah, and then
and they
they
both
because
like
the other ones
yeah
they showed
like
before. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
and this is so crazy that they actually called each other and they were like, Hui said, I had so much fun today. Would love to go on a date with you again.
Yeah. And
And
then
then
of
we're going to see
course,
what happens the next day. And
right. And I will say, what one thing is, Sung Jin ends up leaving a voicemail because, on that last day, as
yeah, they all
each
pick a
one of them is
person.
leaving one on one out of the
They all pick a
house.
person, yeah. I think this is kind of
Yeah.
different from last year. Last year, I think they, the second to last night, they all left a call to someone. And in the
Hmm.
morning, when they leave, they just write a name on a card. And that's
Yeah,
it.
or something
But
like
this
that. So
year,
they changed
the
it where they
final
just leave a
call is
voicemail.
the choice.
Right.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
final voicemail is the choice. So that's kind of
Right.
different. Because last year we
Right.
saw some people got voicemails from people, but they didn't choose them.
Yeah. Hmm.
So
But I thought this was interesting because Sung Jin was calling someone Hyung. And then I was like,
I
at
mean, he's
first I
the
was like,
youngest in the house. It could be
so I
anyone.
was like, who is he calling that? You know? But I'm hoping, I was like, I really hope in this moment, I was like, I hope you see that Sungjin is into you and you have an opportunity to be in a relationship with someone who actually, also wants to be the shoulder you cry on. And it is a good shoulder to
Yeah.
cry on, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, the
Maybe he
couples
just
that
wasn't
ended
ready
up
for that.
together, I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, he's a baby gay, you know. They gonna make mistakes.
Yeah. So
So
Sunjin called Hui. Hui
yes.
called Sungmin.
Right. So the couples that ended up together, Hanmin and Youngjoon, which we'll get into that a little later.
I want to say ended up
Minsun,
together. Well, the ones that had a match call that chose each
yeah,
other.
had a match call. Then Minsun and Myunghyun, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm happy for them. You know, if they like it, I
Sure.
love it.
I mean, we'll
Uh,
see.
Sungmin and then Jaesung. And I was like, okay, this is great. I will say what made me laugh was when Sungmin and Jaesung were kind of like walking about after they were holding hands, so cute, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sungmin talking about doing a whole hotel staycation. I'm like, y'all have known each other for maybe
A
a
week.
week.
A week.
You need to slow your roll. You need to slow your hole, okay? Like, you're doing a
Oh,
lot.
I
You're doing a
mean,
lot. All
spoiler,
because
they are
you do
still
not.
together today.
Yes, yes.
I think they're the
And,
only couple that is still together today out of this whole show.
oh,
Yup.
really?
Yup.
Really? Okay, hold on, hold on. We're going a little too ahead of ourselves. So, what surprised you the most when we got to episode 14?
What, during episode 14 or when we got
Yes,
to
the
episode?
very last one. The very last one.
I was surprised because I was like, oh, what is this extra episode? They showed us everything in episode 13.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Hanmin and Yeonjun go on a date together.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is cute. They say
Mm-hmm.
it's been 2-3 weeks. And then the subtitles keep on being like, it's awkward. Like,
Mm.
and I'm like, oh, this is a breakup. And
Mm-hmm.
this
Because they
was so
hadn't seen
weird.
each other since the show wrapped.
Yeah, but they're like, we're busy. Yeonjun's like, I just got a promotion. Like, I got a new job.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hanmin is just there like, so I gotta tell you something. And he says that he usually likes in a relationship when he likes the other person more. So like in this
Mm-hmm.
instance, he wishes like he liked Yeonjun more than Yeonjun liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt like the whole show was just kind of like a whirlwind and it all happened too fast, and the show kind of
Mm-hmm.
pushed this romantic idea in his head with, you know, them making rings on their first date.
Mm-hmm.
And he came into the show like a day later than everyone else, so he was like, I don't want this. He wanted
Yeah.
them to just be friends, and I was just like, I felt so
I felt bad for Youngjoon.
I feel bad
I
for
really did.
Yeonjun.
I really did. But I understood what Hanmin was saying. I do
Like,
really
I understood
think
what he's saying, but it's only been 2 weeks since the show ended. You can still date. You can still try things out. Like, no one's saying get married.
Yeah, but even then, like,
But you're breaking it off right after the show ended. Like, then what was the purpose of picking him in the end? Just
this
to
is
have
what I'm gonna say. This
a
is what I'm
happy
gonna
ending
say.
in for
I
a production.
feel as
Like,
if I feel as if and I think Youngjoon feels this too, even though you could tell it hurt a lot for him, right?
oh, it crushed him. He was like,
Yeah.
damn.
But I do feel as if they were kind of forced into a relationship because of the show, and they didn't get the space to authentically get to know each other.
But that's what
so
this
that's what,
after is for,
yeah.
is it not?
But I feel well, yes, but also I feel as if you're kind of rushed to be with someone in 7 days, and you're like, well, I guess, like, for some people, 7 days is way too fast, you know. And
I know, but
in
they don't.
Hammond's case, it was 6 days. You know, it was
I
just a
know.
little too fast.
They don't have to make it official. They don't have to be anything official. But it's the way that Hanbin would like, kind of like set the line. Like he like drew the line right there. He was like, "We're not gonna be anything more." Like he was just like, "I want to just be friends."
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
didn't say,
And
"Let's take this slow." Like I know the show was a whirlwind, but I'm willing to take this slow with you and like let's date and see what happens. He was just
And
kind
I
of like,
think it's
no.
more of he wants to be the person chasing, and both of them are
Yeah.
chasers. That's the thing. It's
Yup.
not gonna work, you know. It
Yup.
like for me, I used to be someone who used to chase. Now I don't have time for that anymore. You got to chase me. Like, and you got to be very clear with me and upfront. You got to chase me. You got
Mm-hmm.
to be running around
Mm-hmm.
the street trying to find me. You got to be, knocking on my, well, not knocking on my door, child, but
Whoa.
yeah, not doing that. Okay, we're not trying to have none of that. Okay, but
I see. But yeah, yeah, that
I
explains it.
get where Hanman was coming from. I get where Youngjun was
But I
coming
feel like you
from.
could have said that on the show. You didn't have to lead this guy on the show. Like,
Well,
I know it all happened too fast, but like, you
I
can
think on
choose
the
not
show
to
he didn't
deal
have
with
the
him.
space to really think about it. I think once he was
Yeah, there's
off
no
the
time.
show,
And there's a lot
he
of
had a
pressure
little
from the show to be like, make
correct.
a happy
Yeah,
ending, make a happy connection.
right. So I think once that pressure was taken off of him, he was really able to kind of sit
He
with
was
it
like, you
and
know
think
what? I
about
don't
it.
like you like that.
Yeah,
I do not
he's
like you
like,
like
I
that.
liked being around you, but I wasn't. It wasn't like that, you know. Um.
I'd feel so lied to. I'd feel so betrayed.
Oh yeah, I don't,
Uh,
and that's.
I'd
I
also be
feel
like,
sorry
why
for.
did this show this moment? Like, we could have just like broke up offline. Like, why is the show showing me flop on camera?
Yeah, and then the ring, giving him back the ring.
I was like, you made that ring. Keep that fucking
Yeah,
ring.
keep the ring.
Like, why are you giving it to
So
me? Like I bought that for you. Like, it was,
yeah.
keep it as a memorabilia for the show.
So I don't think those two are ever gonna talk again. Like they're gonna be
Oh,
friends
they are
on the
like,
internet,
I
and that's
think,
it.
yeah, like Yeonjun just had like a little sleepover party to watch the show or something,
Hmm.
and I don't think Hanmin was there.
I don't think so either.
So
Yeah, but I will
interesting.
say, Minsun and Myungkyung, that did not surprise me. I'm glad that they made it official on that episode, and I was like, okay, that's
But
great. You
they
know,
apparently the streets are saying that they did not last either. That they kind of broke up
well,
sometime last year,
you know,
sometime in the middle.
so
But that's
okay,
okay. That's like realistic. That's like you
yeah,
try to make it work.
yeah, and it just didn't work. And I will
Yeah, and it
say
just didn't
this,
work.
you know what I was messy me was hoping for.
What? That Hui and Sunjin got
Hold
together?
on. No, no. I mean, yes, that, but no. Myungkyun and Youngjun will try to reconcile.
Stop. No. Yeonjun do not want that man.
He doesn't,
He do
but
not want that man.
Myungkyun, I think with
Myungkyun is
Minsun and
just
Myungkyun,
he needed like a
yeah,
first real relationship, and I think Minsun probably gave him that, like a first
right,
normal.
because Minsun was very into Myungkyun, but I
Mm-hmm.
think Myungkyun had not, even though they closed that door, Myungkyun still had the key, you know. Youngjun threw
Stop.
that key away. He was like, I don't want it. I'm done with
I mean,
it.
it was a good
I'm
opportunity for
good.
him to move on and try with someone else
Right.
and really
And I think Minsun was a
experience.
rebound. I
Stop.
really do.
It did
And I
also feel
mean,
very
pun
one-sided there
intended,
too,
but yes,
because
yeah.
Minsun was leading. I feel like he was leading that relationship.
Hmm. And I think
But
Myungkyun, it was convenient for him to rebound. That's what I think.
yup, yup.
Yeah.
But
So,
everything's
um,
experience. Everything's on people's journeys. You know. I don't
what
know.
surprised me about that episode for me the most thing was who was not there. I was really shocked. I was like, I wanted to see more Jae Sung and Sung
There
Men.
was a
I,
people are saying again. The streets are saying there was supposed to be like a third part. Like that felt so short. It was supposed to show
yeah.
like all three couples, but I guess there's like a little controversy happening with Jason at the moment.
Uh-oh. What's the tea?
Did you hear about this? Apparently, like
Uh-uh.
one of the guys from season 1 of His Man said that Jason was like trying to slide in his DMs when he was a minor.
Oh,
Or he didn't say Jason specifically. He said one of the oldest guys on the show like try to slid into
on the
his
current
DMs.
season,
Yes.
tried to slip into his DMs when he was younger?
Yeah, when he was a minor.
When he was a minor or when he was younger? Because we got to be clear.
I don't
Because
know.
younger could
People said it was
be,
minor.
oh, when he was like,
It probably was
know.
like probably when he was like maybe like 16, 17, 18. I don't know what's an adult in Korea. People say it's 19.
it's
when you're adult?
18, I believe. It's because
Is
I
it like
think
Korean
it's 18
age
is when
or
you can drink.
global age?
And I don't know if it's, yeah, and I know it's 18 to drink. I don't know what the age of consent is.
So I guess when he was like probably, yeah, just under the age. So
I don't know, which
I
that's
don't
very
know. It hasn't been
interesting.
confirmed or denied, but it was like an allegation. So people are saying that's probably why they cut out that third couple from the show.
Which would still be kind of stupid because Jae-sung and Sungmin are like
But they're still
4 years
together.
apart and they're still together. You know,
And Jason posted, he's posting his man on his story all weekend. All weekend, he's been like, "Look at
mm-hmm,
my man, me and my man, Sungmin.
mm-hmm.
We'll
And
let
you
you
know
know
what?
about our story someday, but we're
I'm
still
really happy
together."
for them. I'm glad that worked out. You
I
know,
am glad because they really had no screen that. Well, they had no opportunity to really get together during the show, but they
which is
said we're
probably
gonna
a
make
good
it work
thing.
because we actually
Which
like
is
each other.
probably a good thing because see the difference is with Hamin and Youngjoon that was a whole thing,
The show was
and
pushing them hard.
yeah, and Youngjoon needed that because he needed someone to vent to because of that whole mess with him and Younghyun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jae-sung and Sungmin, they're older, and I think they have Jae-sung specifically has more emotional maturity, you know, and
When he's
even
not
though
fighting fighting a 21-year-old.
I mean, yeah, because they were trying to get with the same man, but
Yeah,
he assumed that we was trying to do something
he's doing
sneaky.
some shady
Yeah,
shit.
when
Yeah.
really at the end of the day we did not. It was a complete misunderstanding. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why Jason felt so bad because he's like, I saw this kid in a way that I shouldn't have because I was so into the same guy, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um Also, I really wanted to see more of Hui and Sungjin interacting. I would have loved to see them meet. And I mean, I don't think they're dating, of course,
Oh
but
no, they're not. I think they're just friends. Like it looks like
yeah,
they
I think they're
posted
just
something on
friends.
Insta, but it looks like they're just friends.
You're right. And I
Yeah.
would have loved to see them have a conversation and Hui being like, I really love our friendship, but I don't know how I feel about you beyond a friend at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like that. Because I think there's a possibility for them to be a cute couple, like
uh,
young things. I
I
mean,
hope so
friends with
too, but
benefits. Maybe,
stop. I don't think that's what
maybe,
Sunjin needs, or that's what Hui needs. Hui needs like emotional support,
yeah,
and
but,
Sunjin wants a companion.
right. But yeah, I mean, I would love a messy friends with benefits situation
I
between
hope we get
them.
like a reunion or something, but I don't think. I don't
I don't
know.
think we're going
Or
to
if
get
any of
one,
these
but I want
boys make their
one.
own content, you think Jason and Sung are gonna pop out with the YouTube channel? I don't think so. Not
I
with
don't
these
think so. I think
allegations.
Jae-sung and Sungmin should keep their relationship
They're gonna keep it offline. They're
offline.
gonna keep it
Yeah, only
private.
thing they should do is just post stuff on Instagram and nothing more than
Yeah,
that.
keep it
You
real
know,
cute.
and I think when you're at that age, when you're a young millennial, sometimes you don't need to be having every part of your, let's say this.
Drag
Okay,
Jun Ho. Drag them. Oh my
This is a
god.
Kevinism, okay?
Oh
You don't
my.
always have to have your hole out for everybody to see,
Ooh.
okay? Like, not everybody needs to see any fissures that you have. No one
Oh
needs to
my
know
god.
about
Shut up.
constipation. No one needs to know
Is
about all
OnlyFans
of that.
legal in Korea even? What you talking about?
I'm talking about what I'm trying to say is not everybody needs to know your business. And
Mm-hmm.
also to add to that, this is not a Kevinism, but this is a saying that everyone should know. No tea, no shade. As in, if you do not share your tea, then no one is given the opportunity to throw shade. Okay?
And that's
So,
on what? Oh,
period. So,
period.
anyway, what do we think of the show overall?
I think it was a journey. I think it
Mm-hmm.
sucks that the boyfriend stole its spotlight. So this
Mm.
felt a little weird towards the end, but glad that everyone's happy and together. And it felt very real at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Felt
Yeah.
very real at the end.
And for me, Hui is the most memorable cast member. I'm gonna remember him forever. And
He
I know
felt he
that
was
might,
yeah, he was my
yeah,
favorite.
yeah. I really appreciate how he was very determined and very focused, but maybe just too focused.
He was
Um,
just down bad for one man, and it's just part of
right.
growing up. We're all gonna
Yeah,
be
and
down
it's
bad
part
for
of
that
growing
one
up.
man.
And I think he's gonna look back and say, you know what?
He's gonna look
I
back
could
and be
have
like,
done
"This
this
is so silly."
differently.
Yep.
It was so silly. I was but he was young. And I think he will understand, like, I was young at the time. And now that I've learned from it and I've grown from it, I can act differently the next time I'm introduced to somebody that I'm into.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anywho, we got one more show to talk about. I know we don't have too much
We have
to
like
say,
no time left to talk about the second show.
but we don't have a lot to say at
Ooh,
this point.
ooh.
So, the rebound, which
Let's
I think we
rebound
both
ourselves into the
overall
rebound.
liked the show, right? But what do
Did
we
we?
think overall? I mean, I did until the
No,
last
I
episode.
I love Ming Ping. They are so good together,
Yes.
so cute together. Love this
Yes.
show. This
Yes.
show, I wish it wasn't 2 episodes a week so I can actually savor the show and digest every
Mm-hmm.
episode properly.
Right.
Like halfway
Mm-hmm.
through the show, I felt like I was just kind of like skipping scenes because I was just like, I don't know. There's too much content, and there's too much story, too many characters that they're packing in, and then it got
Mm-hmm.
so rushed in the end. Because they
Mm-hmm.
have Frank in the show playing Adam, and he was amazing in the show. Loved that he was here to spice things up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did nothing with him towards the end. Q was in this show, and I really thought he was going to be a second couple with Frank. It looked like they were trying to advertise it like that. And
But
then
they weren't.
they cut Q
They
halfway
barely
out the
crossed
show.
paths. Yeah. Yeah.
They never talked to each other, I think.
Yeah. I don't think they ever
And
crossed paths, really. Yeah.
yeah, and then Q disappeared from episode 6 and on. He didn't show up till the final episode.
Yeah. And that's
So
because, and we know
we
where he
never got
went.
like
He was lurking.
yeah, he was
He was
lurking, but
lurking in the
like
corners.
we never got like a big boss, like you said. There was never like another big mafia boss behind everything. It
Yeah,
was
it
just
sounds
ended up
like
being school drama towards the
right.
end.
And I really was hoping to look for a little bit more of that mafia stuff, but I
Yeah,
guess
because you had
you know
mafia start
what?
the show, but
Right.
and then it disappeared halfway through, and then we're just supposed to forget that happened.
Yeah. And
That Ryu was from the streets, and he was in all this
well,
gang
he got
violence.
on the streets because he was from a wealthy home, and he
Again,
left
they
his
didn't explain
mama
that
to go on
either.
the streets.
Why was Ryu on the streets? Why did his mother just
Oh, he ran
not
away from home, and he'd
his mom
rather
knew
have
where
been
he
on the
was,
street.
and she sent him money all this time. Like she could have
She
stopped
kind of
him
knew, but she kind of
anytime.
didn't know. And he ran away from home. Like, that was it. Like, it wasn't anything too deep other than the fact that he and his mom were not getting along because his dad
But then,
left the house because she made him leave.
but she was paying that apartment for him, was she not? Who was paying for that apartment? He had his own
I
like
think he
apartment by
was,
himself, or
part
was
of
he
me
living
was
with Q?
thinking, I think the money was coming from the hood rats, from the mafia.
Mm.
I don't think it was coming from his mom.
But she would just randomly be paying, like sending money to things for him. Like for the basketball
Yeah.
team, she'd randomly be like, "Here's 10K."
Yeah, like she kind of knew, but kind of didn't.
I don't
They had a
know.
complicated
It
thing,
was so
and I got
complicated. I
that.
wish we got more of a reason why, more of a explanation. She kicked out the
Hmm.
dad because the dad wasn't about that bag. Like she was like, "I need you to get your money up. Like you're a high school basketball coach, and our son needs money for college. So get into it or get out." And so he just left, and I was like, "What?
Yeah, he left.
He's
And
not coming back into the story? Like
yeah, I would have preferred there was a way for him to come back,
he would just
and I
let
think she held
her
all
like
of
the son
she
is on the streets, and the
yeah
dad doesn't
because
know
she
about it."
projected her. I don't think he knows because I think they explained that earlier episodes. He got into a new family. They divorced. He got a new family,
Oh,
and that's it. But
crazy.
I think with this is why I don't skip through scenes because sometimes they give you little blips of things. That's why I just
Rude.
watch the whole thing.
Rude. Hey, I was
But
trying to get ready for today. I was trying to get ready for today.
so, but I think the mom, she was projecting a lot of her anger towards her ex-husband
Hmm.
onto her son, and that's not fair. All because he's into basketball, loves basketball, doesn't mean he's gonna be like your husband. You gotta at least try to support your child,
She ain't even
especially since
tried.
he's
She
doing
ain't even tried.
something healthy, so then he doesn't do things unhealthy.
I
So
guess yeah. The whole point of the
anyway,
show was everyone was prioritizing academics over sports, and that was like the
hmm
main thing of the show. Like the school was being like, we can just tear down the basketball court and make like a new science building or math building
right.
because like we don't give a crap about sports.
Yeah, and it's
And
not as if one is better than the other.
like you
It's
need that balance. These kids need
exactly
like you need like a physical activity to kind of balance out all the learning that you're
right.
doing.
And that's what gives people a well-rounded education. And kids need options. Um, so I do think I have a rating for the show. What's your rating first?
I gave it a 6.
I gave it a 7. Like it's
The last episode just really ruined everything for me. But
that
I gave it
last
a 6.
episode was very fluffy and rushed. Like I
I just felt like
and
also we were flying through basketball games and they would just like be winning every single game, which is like okay, that made sense. You know, you have to
which
make
we
it to the
expected.
finals. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say though, the part that made me chuckle, even though it was unnecessary, was when they get to the house. Grandma, first of all, she was probably my favorite character in the show.
Yeah, she did not feel like a
Grandma
grandma. I was like,
had
this woman is not that old.
Yeah, but she was old enough because she went ahead making her little desserts, put on her
She
headphones,
put
just
on her
sitting there
beats.
listening to whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then her grandson and her grandson's boyfriend upstairs
We're
knocking
rocking the
things
room,
over.
rocking
You
the
know, they
room.
really doing it. And they did it 3 times already. And I'm like, can you like get off of him? Like, dude is probably sore. He's not gonna be able to poop later. Like, come on, like
Oh
give him
my
a break.
god.
Okay? Like
They said
give
they
him
haven't seen each other in 3 months. He was like, we gotta make up for the lost time.
yeah, but also like he needs to eat and poop. Like give him a break, okay? Like come on.
I mean,
Like
that's the part of the show that I was like, I don't know. So, uh, what's his name? Zen is on
yeah,
a scholarship, and his grandma is like struggling. She don't make that much money, so he's like, I need
right.
this scholarship because she can't make money. So that's
Right.
why I guess that's why he leaves to go to the Phuket school
Right.
with Adam. But
Right.
like they just kind of, I feel like we lost an episode because like we should have seen him at that other school with Adam. There should have been like a breakup or something, and then like a
Yeah, but they
resolution of
didn't
they got
break
back
up.
together.
They just because I mean Phuket and I don't remember what town they're in, but I think they're in
Right now, I
Bangkok.
think
But they're
no,
not that
they
far.
might be in Chiang Mai right now. I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but
whatever wherever they were in,
it just
they were
it
still in the
just
same country.
yeah, but they just had like a weird like time jump, and it's just like, oh, I transfer back, like, huh? They're like, yeah, we solved
Yeah,
the problem with the school actually, and I transfer back.
yeah,
I'm like, that what? This whole show we were fighting for you to get, for this school to prolong the basketball program. We saw that shady little gay doing shady deals with the media to try to trash this Asian dad, the whole show.
yeah. That was such a mess.
And then
You
in
know
the
what? The
end, they're
only
just
thing,
like, anyway, so it's all happy now. They prolonged the basketball program. You can come back, Zen, and stay on your
and he
scholarship
did
here.
because of course, why would he not come back? I mean, he's been at that school forever. His man is there.
I know, but I was just like, this is so like, all right, happy ending.
Yeah. You know, they kind of rushed things. Only thing I really wanted to see was for the coach and the principal to become a
Yes,
ship.
there was
If
so
they
much.
did
There was
that,
so much
this show would have gotten an
tension.
8. This
Literally,
would
there
have
was so
gotten
much
an 8
tension.
right away.
They
Right
should have
away.
dropped in something in that backstory, being like, oh, like after his wife died in the car crash, like him and the principal and the director, like I don't know, had a little
Mm-hmm.
something. Or I don't know, like they had tension. They did stuff in high school, like
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Mm-mm-mm. I really wish they did.
And I wish Frank got
Um,
with Q. Frank was horny for Zen.
I
He
don't think
needed
that.
someone.
I mean, they could have made that happen, but they just never crossed paths. You know,
I don't
they
know.
just never did. You know. With that said, we also need to cross paths. It just started raining
Oh,
outside.
looks like you staying at home, boy.
So you know what? I'm not going outside for the rest. I'm not going anywhere for the rest of the day. But I got other stuff to do, and you do too. So we gotta go. And that is it for this episode of Bride Can Top My Knee. Peace safe, and dedicate your knees like we, so you can walk well. Dedicate the health to your knees, and don't stalk
What?
like
And
Q.
anyways, I hope the Ryu tops your Zen. Goodbye.
No way. Bye.
That's what
Bye.
happened. So bye.
Bye.